Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Barak Kadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my heavenly Father Yahweh and my heavenly big brother Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching His truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up about this oil crisis, prices going up, and there's gonna be a crisis going up and about oil. And hey man, stay prayed up, 'cause it's about to get crazy out here. All over the world, really. But anyway, man, I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripture my best ability, say whatever God say through spirit and power, Yahweh by Shemal Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Kurhak, Dash, Lord willing to be on me. Let's get it.
It looks like Trump's plan for Iran is deteriorating very quickly. It looks like Israel doesn't have any kind of backup plan except to drop bombs. And right now, America is caught in a catch-22. We have analysts warning that the oil price is about to double in the coming months, and that this whole war that Trump is waging on Iran, it's opening up a new front, and it's going to be one on the Strait of Tears. If you don't know, the other waterway on the other side of Yemen and Oman here is very critical as well. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait, also known as the Strait of Tears. This is an area that sees itself have 10% of the global oil pass through this area, plus all types of other goods, and it cuts a 2-week travel time off of any other route. This is a critical spot. And right now, Iran is saying, ceasefire's done. Like, you guys you did it in. You broke it again. You lied again, is what they're saying. They're saying that the attacks on Lebanon violate the ceasefire as well. They can't be hitting any of their allies, which is Yemen as well. So Iran is saying they're going to activate their Houthis now, all the rebels around Yemen, and that would make this whole spot that you see circled on the right here an obvious target. It's only 32 kilometers wide, and with Hormuz shut down and full of mines, it's going to take a while. They say it looks like at this rate, the analysts are saying, by August, oil will be $180 per barrel. Trump says, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to work itself out. I think the price will drop here very soon. He's been saying this for weeks. And like a carrot on a stick, he's been telling everyone that we'll have a deal here very soon, very soon. All the while, it's getting drug out and prices are inching higher and higher and higher. There's no other way around it. They're warning now that if this does not get fixed here very soon, that once again, oil will hit $180 a barrel by August, and this will send the entire globe into a recession. I'm going to tell you, that's what it was meant to do. That this is all part of a reset, and things are going to thin out.
Yeah, he right. I mean, it's leading to that chip implant, the mark of the beast.
Before it gets any better, I feel, people can either have a plan or find out the hard way. But this is...
Yeah, the plan is Yahweh Shemal Shah, seek and repent, do the best you can, dude. Let's get to the next video. It's from Perils of Indignation 144.
Well, breaking fucking news. Last night while we all slept in our beds, Iran decided to drone strike the largest oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. In result of this drone strike, the Saudis have decided to close the oil refinery in its entirety. The world's going to shit. This is gonna fuck a lot of things up. Here's the clip. I don't think a lot of you understand the concept of what we're actually dealing with. We are in the beginnings of World War III. There's no sugarcoating that. Oil prices and gas prices, it's about to feel like 2002 in this bitch. And in 2002, I was like 5 or 6. Oil prices are about to be on the rise. Iran is showing you exactly what they said they were going to do, which essentially was, if we burn...
Hell, gas price gonna be higher than that. What are you talking about? It's gonna be like $10 a gallon, maybe $20 a gallon for regular. Don't get started with that diesel. Probably be 30. Shit, but they ain't gonna be selling.
You burn with us. I don't think there is an end in sight to this. I pray that there is, because war, no matter in what.
I pray. I don't give a. I don't give a. What this nigga talking about? He ain't in the right spirit. Don't be in this dude's spirit. Don't be in the same spirit this dude is in. Be in the spirit and say, fuck this shit. Let the destruction begin. Please, Lord.
Capacity is wrong. This is fucked. But I'll keep you updated with more.
The war on Iran is jeopardizing the entire Middle East energy industry. Saudi Aramco, the world's largest oil exporter, has shut down its Ras Tanura refinery in Saudi Arabia's eastern province following a drone strike from Iran. Qatar, the world's largest exporter of gas, has shut down all of its LNG operations after facilities at Ras Laffan and Masayid were targeted. And a UAE oil platform is reportedly burning in the Gulf after being struck. Iran has made fresh threats against shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, as well as around 20% of the world's oil and gas passing through this narrow waterway. Shipping companies say 10% of the world's containers are now stuck. At least 5 vessels have been attacked in the Gulf by Iran over the past 24 hours.
The Strait of Hormuz comes in. Again, it handles about 20% of the world's entire oil and gas supply every single day. Ships from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Iraq, they all have to pass through Hormuz to get their oil to the market. And Iran closed it. And when they closed it, the whole economic model of the Gulf states stopped working. Think about what this actually means for Saudi Arabia specifically. Before the war, Saudi Arabia needed oil at around $100 a barrel just to cover its basic government spending, like its imports and its social programs. And they were exporting close to 7 million barrels a day to pay for it. Now there is a math problem here. How high would the price of oil have to be to generate the same revenue to pay for their country? One economist did the math, and they said Saudi Arabia would need oil at $170 a barrel. Oil is not at $170 a barrel. At least not the paper price of it, because it's intentionally being suppressed using the futures market, which means Saudi Arabia is bleeding money. They are externally borrowing, and it's hit over $100 billion in the trailing 4 quarters, which is a level that's never happened before in their entire history. The world's biggest oil exporter is now having to borrow dollars to...
Yesterday was the first time that we saw an Emirati oil rig get targeted with a drone attack, but today was the first time that we saw oil and gas assets getting hit pretty damn hard in Saudi Arabia and in Qatar. Iran targeted a Qatari oil refinery in Ras Laffan. This is Saudi Arabia's Aramco, largest oil company that Saudi has. It is the #1, and they hit the Ras Tanura oil refinery, which, as I understand, is the largest oil refinery that they have. It wasn't just like one strike. They hit a lot here. When Iran began their strikes on the Gulf states, you know, everyone in the mainstream media, with the exception of CNN, right? CNN actually put out a statement saying, we might have reason to believe that actually the Iranians are targeting U.S. military personnel and U.S. intelligence in the Gulf states at the locations they're trying to hit that are not on U.S. bases. Like, they were the only ones, oddly enough, that put out a statement that explained what was happening.
Europe River.
It's getting hot. It is getting hot. It's getting very interesting out there. It's getting hot. No, I don't want to play that.
One of the most misunderstood aspects of the current oil crisis is that the global economy does not need to literally run out of oil in order to suffer a catastrophic shock. The world's energy system can fail long before inventories approach zero. What matters is not simply the total number of barrels sitting in storage somewhere, but whether enough oil remains available to keep the complex global circulation network functioning smoothly. A useful analogy would be the human body. A person does not die because every drop of blood disappears. The body actually fails when circulation can no longer sustain critical functions. And so the global oil system operates in much the same way. Pipelines, storage terminals, refineries, tanker fleets, and distribution networks all require a minimum level of oil moving through the system at all times. If inventories fall too low, circulation breaks down and the energy system begins to seize up. This is why the recent developments in the Middle East are causing such concern among energy analysts. Since February, global oil inventories have been falling rapidly as markets compensate for the loss of supply associated with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. According to estimates from UBS, global inventories stood at more than 8 billion barrels at the end of February, prior to the United States and Israel attack on Iran. By the end of April, they had fallen to approximately 7.8 billion barrels, and by the end of May, they were expected to decline further to roughly 7.6 billion barrels. At first glance, these figures might appear reassuring. After all, 7.6 billion barrels sounds like an enormous quantity of oil. The problem, however, is that most of these inventories are not truly available as a buffer against disruption. Analysts at JP Morgan estimate that only about 800 million barrels can be drawn down without placing significant significant stress on the system. The remaining inventory effectively serves as the oil equivalent of blood volume in the human body. It is absolutely necessary to have that to simply keep the infrastructure operating. Once inventories fall below certain thresholds, transportation bottlenecks emerge, supply chains become increasingly fragile, and fuel shortages begin appearing in unexpected places. The critical level that is identified by several JP Morgan analysts lies around 6.8 billion barrels of global inventory. If the Strait of Hormuz remains closed through this summer, JP Morgan projects inventories could reach that level by September. Product inventories such as gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel could reach critical levels even sooner, potentially during July or August. The implications are, of course, profound. According to one of the most respected firms in the energy sector, Rapid Energy Group, the global economy would begin to seize up if inventories were allowed to fall that low. Transportation infrastructure could struggle to secure fuel supplies, regardless of price, by the way. Airlines, trucking fleets, shipping companies, and industrial manufacturers would all face increasing difficulties obtaining the energy necessary to operate. Modern economies depend on continuous access to affordable fuel, and needless to say, disruptions on this scale would ripple through virtually every single sector of our economy. Now, unless the Trump administration escalates the war against Iran again, inventories are unlikely to ever reach these critically low levels. Markets have a mechanism that is designed to prevent that outcome. Before inventories become dangerously depleted, prices rise sharply in order to destroy demand. And no, that is not good news for consumers. Effectively, prices will become so high, so restrictive, that consumers would be unable to afford to travel as well as to purchase necessities. And so that situation in turn would lead to demand destruction. Higher energy prices force consumers and businesses alike to reduce consumption, slowing economic activity and preserving remaining inventories. So in other words, the market effectively protects the physical energy system by sacrificing economic growth. Rather than allowing inventories to collapse to unsustainable levels, prices will increase until enough demand is removed from the system to stabilize stockpiles. This is where the recession risk emerges. Rapid Energy argues that oil prices could rise to $150 or even $200 per barrel if Hormuz remains closed and inventories continue shrinking. Such prices would represent a dramatic shock to the global economy and would likely lead to a depression. Transportation costs would surge, inflation would accelerate, manufacturing expenses would rise, and consumers would face another major squeeze on their disposable income. The International Energy Agency has already warned that rapidly shrinking inventory buffers could produce future price spikes. Similarly, ExxonMobil CEO Darren Woods recently noted that commercial inventories, strategic reserves, and oil already moving through the system have helped absorb the disruption thus far. However, these stockpiles cannot compensate indefinitely. As inventories continue declining, their ability to cushion supply losses diminishes, and that leaves prices as the primary adjustment mechanism. So the result is, of course, a very troubling dilemma. If the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, oil prices may need to rise dramatically in order to preserve critical inventory levels. But those same prices would likely trigger a severe economic contraction. According to Rapid's analysis, that contraction could begin before the third quarter of 2026. The broader implication is that the world may already be moving toward recessionary conditions unless a political solution is found quickly. Reopening Hormuz would ease pressure on inventories and also reduce the risk of an extreme price spike. However, even if the waterway reopens soon, significant inventory depletion has already occurred. The margin of safety is much smaller than it was only a few months ago. Now, ultimately, the question is not whether the world has enough oil. The question is whether enough oil remains in circulation to keep the global economy functioning efficiently. If inventories continue falling toward critical levels, markets will likely force a painful adjustment through sharply higher prices. Now, as we know, and as was recently announced by Bloomberg, inventory levels within the United States are falling and are likely to be completely depleted by July the 4th. The consequence may be the very outcome that policymakers hope to avoid, which is a global recession that is triggered not by a shortage of oil itself, but by the market's attempt to prevent it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you would like more content and if you would like to watch these videos.
The story that we're on top of right now at noon. For 2 months, Georgia drivers have caught a break at the pump. Well, that relief has now ended because those prices are already starting to climb. Atlanta News First Don Shipman is live with the First Alert Breaking News Tracker in Southeast Atlanta. Don, this price hike is something that we are all going to feel.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everyone is feeling it. And here's the thing with all of this. Georgia drivers are feeling it, but they are finding ways to stretch their dollar.
Groceries, rent, and now gas.
We found out with that one dude somewhere in Atlanta or somewhere. I think I don't know exactly where he's from, but he had his Barbie go-kart. He found one way to cut, and Jake finds all kind of ways to cut corners, water things down, whatever.
The tax break that saved Georgia drivers up to 37 cents.
Water down, like trying to cut corners, like water down your ketchup or your mustard, water down, put some water in your barbecue sauce or some and it helps too. God, I can't stand using barbecue sauce. That shit too thick, man. You got to shake the shit and let it turn the other way to let it drain down. Instead of doing that, just put some water in that bitch and loosen it up. It works out a lot better that way. Shit, who don't use water for any of that to loosen up your condiments? I don't know about them mayonnaise. I don't know about putting fucking water in mayonnaise. I don't even eat mayonnaise, but hot sauce. Put water in your hot sauce to loosen it up. Shit.
It's a gallon.
That's how you save a buck, man. Put some water in your shampoo and your dog shampoo. Shit, that's what I did. I bought like 1 gallon of dog shampoo, and I got an empty bottle of some juice, and I just got that bottle to put some water in there. Put more water in there than the shampoo. I mean, anyway, let me stop running my mouth. Anyway, I'm just trying to save a buck, and you should too. It'd be smart. It's them times, hard times coming. I mean, hard times are here, and it's gonna get even harder. Seek the Lord.
Is over. For the average driver filling up twice a week, that's more than $60 back in someone's pocket. Now it's gone.
It's very much uncalled for.
For 2 months, Governor Brian Kemp suspended the state gas tax. That relief added up. 33 cents saved on every gallon of regular, 37 cents on every gallon of diesel.
We're seeing new bike lanes and scoot lanes.
The sharp spike in prices has some drivers looking for a different way to get around. The executive director of Propel ATL says riding a bike is a perfect cost-cutting measure, and more
people don't do that shit.
People are already doing it.
Cost of car ownership have gone up dramatically, but the cost of these other types.
You know what? A lot of people, well, I don't see that shit. A lot of Americans are too damn lazy to do that.
Types of transportation have stayed more or less the same, so it can really save families a lot of money.
This is one way to get around those high prices, but a bike will do too. The city recently added several miles of protected bike lanes, making...
And you know what I'm saying? That Americans are too damn lazy to get on a bike? Shit, I'm one of them. I got a bike I bought a few years ago, since COVID came around. Couldn't hardly get it. Remember when you couldn't even get a bike? Couldn't even buy a bike. Bikes were sold out from Walmart. I don't know about any other place, but bikes were sold out during COVID because people were just, I guess they was staying at home or some shit. I don't know.
Making it a lot easier to get from point A to point B safely.
The relief at the pump is over, and for Georgia families already stretched thin, the timing couldn't be worse.
This fool said the relief at the pump. There was no fucking relief. Nigga, please. Didn't feel that shit.
It's not just what you're paying at the gas station, it's what you'll be giving up somewhere else.
We're already grappling with high cost of food, and then we have to face this too. And they both go hand in hand.
And right now we're in southeast Atlanta. We are on the southeast Beltline. This recently opened. The south side Beltline is set to open in just a few weeks from now. And Propel ATL brought up a good point. This is also helping to connect people to all of those new bike lanes. And a lot of people are already using this section of the Beltline, and they're also using it to get to where they need to go. Not just for recreation, but also for going to get the groceries, some of them even going to work. Also, Propel ATL wanted me to mention that Atlanta's e-bike rebate program is coming back this.
I remember I almost ran somebody over. They have this trail in the city I'm at. And this nigga didn't he came out and these niggas when they cross a busy road as the car's going 45 miles per hour, they supposed to daggone slow down here. This nigga wasn't even trying to do shit. Yeah, he's an Edomite. They ain't fucking paying no attention. I about to run that nigga over. And I wouldn't give a fuck. But that nigga wasn't even looking, bro. I had to care. Yeah, I had to show that I care. But shit, that motherfucker was stupid as hell. He just pulled out and he looked at me all crazy like I did something wrong. Stupid asshole. It was like, looked like an area similar to this. But anyway, it was like a caution area. But with that nigga just pulled straight on out. Didn't even bother to look. Anyway. Yeah, I know I'm running my mouth a lot. So what? Let's get to this. Let me see what this video about.
Well, I have another warning for you. According to executives from Shell, Exxon, and even Chevron, they're all saying that oil inventories are so low that in the next couple of weeks, we could see gas prices spike and we could see oil per barrel run up to over $160 per barrel. This is what they're telling us, and this is a huge concern because of what we are currently experiencing. Look at this right here.
This just happened at my local gas station in Fort Myers, Florida. As you can see, they're out of diesel fuel. I asked them when they're going to be getting more in. They
Diesel says out.
Said we don't know. Meanwhile, U.S. diesel stockpiles just hit their lowest level since 2003. Are we about to have a gas shortage in America because of Trump?
Could we have a gas shortage? According to experts, they say the answer is yes. It's not definitive, but the answer is likely yes. Listen to some of these comments, though. It says, not only gas, my job has told me we will not be getting any oil for diesel trucks and or other oil will be scarce. Yeah. We're also hearing other reports that in Texas, there is a Love's station that had to shut down because they had no gas either. This is happening. We are seeing a shortage. Now, I remember several...
Oh, imagine that Love's gas station didn't have diesel. You'd be some deep doo-doo. Cause that's where they really be selling the most, I believe. Them type of gas station. They said that diesel, cause them semi-trucks rolling up in there. A bunch of them. I don't know how many tanks I don't know how many pumps they normally have at those gas stations like that. Love's and what's the other one? I forgot the other one. But anyway, truck stops. There'd be like at least 10, 15 pumps, I believe. Or maybe more than that, especially going to Texas. They be out of diesel, you know you're in deep trouble.
Weeks ago, and about a month ago actually, where many people are saying there's going to be no shortage, and we listen to some of our lawmakers, and they tell us there's not a shortage because we can produce our own oil. And we can. The problem is we are not. We're not producing enough, and we are exporting so much in order to make these other countries happy. But right here in the United States, the American people are not happy. Look at this though. I want to read this to you. It says Exxon warns oil inventories will hit dangerously low levels in weeks, forcing prices to shoot higher. This is what they said, again, May 28th. This is just a few days ago. Now, I want to read something to you though, okay? Listen to this. It says, this is from the Exxon Senior Vice President. We're approaching unheard of inventory levels. It says, I mean really, really low levels. It says, you can debate whether that's going to hit those really low levels in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Once you get to that point, then you'll see price shoot up. Yeah. They're expecting the physical price of a barrel is going to be between $150 to $160 per barrel. I want to play this next clip for you because this person is trying to explain where we could see prices go on average in the United States. And it is much higher than what it is today. I want to show you what it is today. Look at this right here.
From the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, the Ego 22-inch aluminum deck mower with
it says gas prices today on June 2nd, 2026 are $4.29 a gallon. We are about 70 cents away, or 72 cents away, from our all-time national average record, okay? Look at this. Our record back on June 16th, or June 14th, 2022, was $5.01. It is currently $4.29. Yesterday was $4.32. A week ago was $4.49, so it's come down 20 cents in a week. And a month ago, it was $4.43. Obviously, well above the $3.14 per gallon it was last year. Okay, listen to this right here, though.
About 6 to 8 weeks, the national average price of gas could be over $7 a gallon. That is not my opinion. It is the opinion of ExxonMobil Senior Vice President Neil Chapman, who late last week warned that the cost of a barrel of oil could spike to up to $160 due to unprecedented historically low oil inventory levels. Here's the math. It's not perfectly accurate, but it is a logical formula. In February 2026, oil was trading at around $60 a barrel, resulting in a national average price of gas of about $2.98. May 2026, oil is trading at about an average of $90 per barrel, and that resulted in a $4.29 national average price of gas. The result of this is that for every $1 increase in the cost of crude oil, gas prices spike by around 4.4 cents per gallon. If oil were to hit 160 and X equals 2.98 times 160 minus 60 times 0.044, that equals $7.38. If you want to know how much this specifically impacts you where you live, take the price of gas that you paid recently and add $3.08 to that. Now,
can you imagine the average gallon of gas here in the United States over $7 a gallon? That would put California closer to like $15 a gallon. Okay, it would be up over $12 a gallon. It would be insane. Okay, it would be insane to see that level, okay, in California. And some people were predicting this back in February when Iran and the U.S. first kind of got into this conflict. They were saying that gas prices could shoot up to $12 to $15 a gallon in the state of California. Yeah, that.
They need to hurry up with this thing, man, because damn, I'm tired of fucking driving. Let's get to this other video of the same dude, same channel. See what this is talking about.
If you ever pump gas, this is a video that you need to watch because many people are being taken advantage of right now as these different gas station scams are going on. There's a viral scam that's going on right now, but yet most people don't even realize how it works. Look at this.
Shout out to the person that's putting these videos out. So,
oh damn,
look at this. So basically, when they put a screw in like these little gas pumps, if you pay with your card, it doesn't reset. So somebody's probably watching these pumps.
Okay, now there's a screw in these gas pumps. Okay, I want to show you another clip. Watch this one.
Watch out for this new gas station scam. It's happening right now, and very few people know about it.
Okay. There's a screw. You saw it right there. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, it's because that screw is not necessarily the scam. This is what most people don't get right. Now, you saw the two different videos, and where that flap comes down on the gas tank, or on the gas pump, there's a screw there that these people are saying that it prevents the nozzle from going back up into the machine, and the machine never resets, meaning that if you pay with a card, it would actually still have your card open as long as you didn't run and hit that limit of 125 or 200 or whatever it may be right now. So your card would still be active on that pump. So the next person that comes up,
and then they pull up and get them, they can fill up. Yep, it won't pretty much end the transaction or the process of pumping fuel. And the motherfucker who set that up, they were going to fill up, and they're probably going to run $500, $600 of fuel in your... Yeah. Shit. Man, fucking shit.
grabs it, they can just go put it into their car and fill it up, and it would actually charge your card, not theirs. Now, why am I telling you this? First off, what's happening right now with that screw, that's not the scam, okay? I just want to show you something. Now, here's the thing, okay? Let me show it to you again. Okay, here's the screw right here. You can see it. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, okay, right here, the reason why I'm showing you this is because this isn't the scam. Everybody's saying this on TikTok and on Instagram.
Yeah, the gas stations ain't scamming you if somebody is watching. They out there lurking. And they probably got people on somewhere on standby with some gas tanks. And not just their vehicle, but gas tanks to fill up. And they watching, they be like, oh, he on pump number 5. Let's go get it. Wait behind them once they done. Get they cigarettes and they beer and some annihilators and some crunching munchies and some hot cheese. So some hot fries. Get some hot fries. After they get their hot fries and they crunchy munchies or whatever the fuck you want to call it, then they go and leave.
Facebook that watch out for this scam. No, this is not the scam here, okay? What this is it's preventing that flap from coming out. It's a maintenance issue. That's not the scam. That is a maintenance problem that these gas stations, they are not willing to pay to have it fixed, to have the pump taken apart and the flap fixed. Okay, that's not the scam. It's just the flap comes out too much. You know why it likely does that? Is because it was a scam. This is what's happening, okay? I want to show it to you. So this little flap right here, this resets when it gets pushed all the way up into the machine, not when it comes out. So when you take your nozzle and you push it into that flap and it pushes it in, that resets the entire pump. But this is why a lot of people are seeing these screws. Scammers will go to these pumps and they will go with both hands and pull that flap out and try to stuff paper, sponges, and other stuff behind it, so that when the next person comes in and pushes that nozzle back into the pump, the flap doesn't go all the way back, so the machine doesn't reset. So the screws aren't the new scam; they're a fix to stop the scammers from pulling that thing out and stuffing paper and sponges and other things behind it that would.
Huh? How? What? Alright, whatever.
Prevent the machine from resetting. Okay? That's the scam. And I know a lot of people are talking about this, that, yep, they saw the screw.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I was right. I guess so. Anyway, whatever.
They decided,
well, whatever.
They're not going to that gas station anymore. I get it. But I've talked to a few gas station attendants. And
I don't want to play this video no more. I'm pretty much done. Oh, no, I got one more video. I thought I was finished. Let's get this one.
That feeling when you're trying to build your credit. And it's like over and over again.
This is the most important commodity in the world. If you don't understand the power of oil, you'll never really understand how the global economy works, or the global balance of power. Wars have been fought over oil, governments overthrown for it, and our entire geopolitical world order is shaped around it. And right now, as the conflict between the US, Israel and Iran, and more broadly across the Middle East, continues to unfold, oil is once again sitting right at the centre of it. And the reason oil matters so much to governments around the world is because oil isn't just any commodity. It's the thing that quietly powers the entire global economy and almost every part of your life. Yet, we all know way too little about it, and only few can imagine the huge effect a spike in oil prices will have on our lives. Whatever you think of oil, you probably underestimate its effect on the economy and the current world order. So, in this video, I'm going to take you through everything you need to know about oil, from what it actually is, to the petrodollar system, and how it has shaped the current world order.
I ain't got 1 hour enough time to play this video, so I'm gonna play a little bit and you can watch the rest of it. They go to title, they go to channel. I'm gonna let it play out some more.
We'll also look at what the current oil crisis means for our everyday lives today, and what past oil shocks can teach us about where things might be heading next. Okay, but before we get into the complicated stuff, let's start.
You know what, let me see what if she gonna get to the part about the oil crisis or the whatever you want to, I'd rather just play that instead.
Yeah, it's still
if I don't know exactly where she at this point of talking.
The global financial system that moved the money, turning the US dollar into the world's most important currency. Because everyone needs oil. And if oil is priced in dollars, everyone needs dollars. The deal wasn't just a deal between friendly countries. British intelligence reports from the time reveal that the US was actually preparing to invade Middle Eastern oil fields if the flow wasn't restored. It really depends on Gulf oil money. Okay, we got a little sidetracked here again, and actually still need to finish talking about the petrodollar system. The petrodollar system basically ensured that even as the US lost direct physical control over oil production, it maintained a commanding position by controlling the global financial flows and using the dollar as a weapon to enforce global discipline. It was Henry Kissinger's goal to make Saudi Arabia a stakeholder in the American economy, ensuring the Saudis would have no financial incentive to ever use the oil weapon in the form of an embargo ever again. Because the petrodollar recycling meant if the US economy suffers, so will Saudi Arabia's investments. Another effect of petrodollar recycling, aka the flood of Saudi cash into Wall Street banks, was that the New York bankers went on a massive lending spree to developing nations. These developing nations in Latin America and Africa were obviously desperate for money, and this created a global debt trap that snapped shut when US interest rates suddenly skyrocketed in 1979. This was called the Third World Debt Crisis. The debt crisis forced dozens of countries into so-called structural adjustment programs, where they were only saved from bankruptcy had been the world's dominant producer for decades, also called fracking. By drilling
Alright, whatever. Anyway, I don't want to watch this shit no more. Well, it is, anyway, it's a crisis. And it's going to get worse. Food price going to go up because oil is going up. Diesel, gasoline, but mostly diesel. Yeah, food, all your commodities. This shit ain't coming to no end. It's gonna keep on going. They talking about, oh, this gonna get better. It's gonna get back to normal. No, it ain't, nigga. No, it ain't, bro. Better seek the Lord. Don't waste no time. Repent. Try to do the best you can, dude. Let me go ahead and get to this one scripture. I'm gonna read this one to close it out. How long this video been? Oh, 30 minutes? Wow, it's been a while since I did a 30-minute video. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, because these are plagues being created. When these the lack of fuel or oil prices go up, it's gonna create the prices go up on everything else, and pretty much things will stop, be produced, and then it'll create famine, and then it can be pestilence, because without that fuel and keep the electricity running. What else? So they're gonna be doing an energy lockdown. Yeah. Remember they were talking about that, but shit, for I don't know, was it months ago? But now they stopped, but it should come back again, talking about it, and I hope it does come back talking about when they talk about it on the news, because they already doing it in other countries, energy rationing, fuel rationing. Yeah, it's got to go down, bro. Because if that ain't doing shit, that pestilence shit ain't doing anything right now, with all this hunter virus and all that monkey ass shit ain't doing anything, this fuel rationing shit got to do something to kick off a lockdown. I don't know, but man, we just hope and pray for it. Yeah. But behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son. With 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass of wounds, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So this shit gonna be affecting the whole world. It's already affecting the world, all the whole world. But when it gets worse, it's gonna. Ooh, man, come on! I'm ready to get this shit out the way, but I'm just sorry. I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired of looking at these damn people. I'm tired of driving. I'm tired of all this dumb shit, working, paying bills. But anyway, I'm not tired of doing this work for the Lord. No, I ain't tired of that though. This is it's a stress relief to keep my mind active. Yeah, you do the same thing, you'll see what I'm talking about. Or try to do whatever you can do that's related to this truth and it related to Yahweh Shema Shah. But that's all I got, man. Just I guess a quick update on the oil crisis and whatever the hell this video is about. I just was like, man, I ain't getting through all this shit. No. Well, we know times are getting bad and getting rough and gonna be more expensive. Amen. Seek the Lord by seeking his prophets and take heed what to say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah, keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust strong, Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong, Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order, Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.